Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Whitty's Gear Reviews. Today we've got some Amazon knives that I purchased, and I kind of just wanted to get them out there and show you some sub $50 knives. And most of these are sub $20 knives, except for one. But I kind of wanted to show you what you could get in that price range if you're looking for a good EDC knife on a budget. So the first one we're going to take a look at is by 704, and this one is a Midnight Scout. So we're going to take a look at that one. We're also going to take a look at the SRM, and this is the SRM 9211. So we'll take a look at that one. And last but not least, with no marking whatsoever on the box, this is the, I think it's pronounced
What?
Or Hueo 535. So I think it's Hueo 535. So we're going to look at all three. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unbox these things, get them out so we don't have to do all that on camera. I'm sure they're wrapped in plastic and all that. We're going to get them out and we'll start looking at each of them. We'll go from the 704 to the SRM to the Hueo.
5 minutes later.
All right, guys, now that we have them out of the boxes, this is kind of how they came packaged. So I thought it was kind of important to show, you know, what came with each knife. As you can look on the 704, you get this nice little case, a lot like a Civivi. So you get your little cleaning cloth. I don't know if this one is stamped with their logo on it. No, just a plain black cleaning cloth. You get a couple stickers, and then you get that same Civivi type, you know, plush carrying case. And the good thing about these cases, guys, if you're going to use this knife for your everyday carry, you're not going to carry it around in this case. But these are nice cases, and they could be repurposed to put small tools in, throw in a bag, and, you know, waist pack, anything like that. Gives you an option to utilize this somewhere else. So that's the 704. Next we have the SRM, which the SRM just comes with this nice little, kind of like a sunglasses case, drawstring bag. And then the Hueo just comes inside this high dollar piece of plastic and sitting on top of a piece of foam in the box. So now that we've seen what they come with out of the box, we're going to go ahead and go over each one individually. We'll start with the 704. So this is a 704 Midnight Scout Light. They have a Midnight Scout that's bigger than this one. This is a light. Basically all it means is it's a smaller version, so therefore it's lighter.
I'm Captain Obvious.
It's got a snap, you know, it's pretty snappy to open. This one's brand new, so, you know, I don't expect it to be super quick, but it does function really nice. You can see that nice drop point blade. This one's the black and olive drab. And you can see they kind of, I think they go a little big on their logo. But there's nothing else on the knife anywhere else other than it shows that this is made out of D2 steel. It's got a lot of oil on there, which is fine. You have a nice pocket clip. I don't believe the pocket clip is reversible, so it's only right hand pocket carry, and it would be a tip down carry. So some specifics on this knife. And I think the clip's actually fairly long. if you look at the size of the blade or the size of the handle, that's a pretty long clip, in my opinion. And you can tell I've got big hands. You can kind of tell it's a 3-finger knife. You cannot get your last finger on that knife. It does have some jimping. You could feel it here, and then also on the very end of the blade. You can kind of see there. In the hand, I don't feel a lot of hot spots. Kind of just right here where my pinky wants to tend to try to grab. It's kind of a little uncomfortable, so it's better to keep your pinky, in my opinion, with my hands, my pinky off of it. But man, it's got a nice feel to it. I mean, these are really nice knives. So like I said, this one comes in the D2 steel. It's got G10 handles. Like I said, it's blade down carry with an oversized deep carry pocket clip. It's a standard liner lock. And it's a flipper. So it's a, flip out deployment style. It's got ball bearing inside instead of brass washers, saying it's got ball bearings. This comes in, of course, the black and the olive like you see here. And also I picked up this one while I was at it. And this is the black on black, the blacked out model. And they're both, I mean, you can hear that. They've got a nice little snap to them. So that's the that's the 704 Midnight Scout Light. The overall blade on these things is about 2.44 inches. When it's folded, you're looking at right at 3.5, 3.54. And total overall length, you're looking at right under 6 inches at 5.98. And this thing comes in at about 2.4 ounces. So it is a little on the small side, but it depends what you're using your blade for. If you're using it to cut stuff every once in a while, opening boxes, just having to have a knife to cut with, and you want something small if you're pocket carrying, this is a nice option because it is small and you can almost, I can conceal it in my hand, right? So 704, I don't know if y'all know a lot about 704, but I used to watch Brian, and I still watch him quite a bit. He has 704 Tactical, which is his YouTube channel, and he's just a knife enthusiast. He reviews all kind of knives and is always getting on showing you some good bargain knives. And he'll go into some, more expensive knives. But I guess because he loved knives so much, he started his own company, which is 704. So just a little backstory. I like these knives. I think they're good budget knives. You're looking at these knives are coming in at, right now you can get them for $18.99 for either of the colors. This is the only two colors it comes in. They're both $18.99 with free Amazon Prime shipping. So you can actually order it today and get it tomorrow. So I think that's important. If you want the knife and you want to get it in your hands, a free Prime shipping, you'll get it next day. And these are good little small quality knives. So that's a 704 Midnight Ranger, or a Midnight Scout Light. The next one we have will be the longest and the biggest out of the three. Kind of just giving you a good detailed look at the knife before we bust it out here. So on this one, you got a point up carry. And it is also right hand only. But you also have this aluminum lanyard hole on the back here. So it's kind of more like a pummel, unlike the 704 that has a hole straight through the actual scales. This one actually has an insert. that you could hook your lanyard to. This one does have an access lock, but this one has, this one has a disc flipper, you can see there. And you can see the checkerding on this one's not as much as the 704, but still nice. This one's a little tight too, because like I said, these are brand new right out of the box. So, and this is hard to do on camera when I'm so zoomed in. But look at that overall profile of that knife. So if you look at the blade, that's almost like a Tonto style blade, except it doesn't have that sharp defined point there. So it's kind of like if you took a Tonto and a Persian knife and they had a baby. That's kind of this swoop blade style that you'll get. And then how the handle swoops down. And if you look at this handle, how big that handle is. I've got big hands, but I could, I could fit another finger on there if I had one.
You don't by any chance happen to have 6 fingers on your right hand?
So I do really like how big the handle is. It just feels, there's no jimping on the top anywhere, but you have that disc on top that kind of lets you reference your finger on that. And there's not really a lot of, it's hard to see it. There's not really any kind of texturing on it other than on the sides, but it does give you a nice place of reference to put your finger if you want to do some carving or anything like that. To me, this is more like a skinning knife. It would be nice for, an everyday skinner, just like a hunting knife. But also, it is a little bit bigger. It would make a decent, overall it's not huge. So it would make a decent everyday carry knife. On this SRM, this is a 9211. This one comes in black, all black, and tan with the blackened blade. So on the black, it's just got black G10 handles with an unfinished blade. And then you have the all black, which would be just like this one with black scales. And this one's a black and tan. So this one is made out of 18 CR 13 MOV. And it's stainless steel. The G10 handles. And it actually has 420 stainless liners. I do like how shallow and, you have nothing on the sides that thumb disc is. The blade on this one, guys, is right at 3.57 inches long. And total overall, it's going to be the longest out of the 3 knives we're looking at. It's 8.33 inches, and it comes in at 2.93 ounces. Not a bad knife. These center real well. You can see that it's nice and centered in the middle. Just got an overall. I like the look of the blade. I think it's very interesting. I don't see a lot of blades like this. You do have a little bit of logoing there on the blade itself, along with their emblem there. On this side, it does say that it's the, there you go, 9211 GW. All in all, this is a nice knife. I really like it. And this one comes in right now on Amazon as well for $19.95. So sub $20 knife. The last one we're going to look at is the most interesting, but there was a reason I picked this knife. This is a Hueo 535. And it looks a lot to me kind of like a bug out in the design. But this one also is a D2 steel blade. It's got the PEI handles. It's got the nice aluminum colored accented lanyard hole. It does have a deep carry pocket clip, and out of the 3 knives, this is the only one that is reversible. So you can set this up for left-hand carry. The handles on this, they have a slight, you can kind of see that pattern on there. So even though they look slick, there is a nice grip to this. And if you'll notice, this PEI, I'm squeezing that, you can see a very little flex in it. Unlike the bug out, you could squeeze a bug out almost flat. So this PEI is pretty, pretty heavy duty for no liner locks in there whatsoever. So that kind of takes away some of the weight to this knife. So this comes in the lightest out of the 3. This one comes in at just a hair over 2 ounces. Comes in at 2.01 ounces. The overall blade length on this one is 3 inches. And the handle is 4.21. And overall from tip to the back here is 7.4 inches. One good thing that I like about, I like the the handle, the PEI handle, which is basically polyether imide, or Altum. That's a brand, but Altum makes the same kind of scales out of PEI, which is the actual kind of composite that they use for these handles. But these handles are strong. They've got excellent strength. They're chemical resistant, and they're heat proof. I wouldn't say proof. I'm sure it'll melt, but they're stable under heat. Put it that way. I do like the blue accent. That's not everybody's thing. But the thing about this knife is, we saw the others. They came in, 704 came in the bag with the stickers. The SRM came in the little case, the little drawstring bag. This one came in this box, wrapped in that plastic. So there's no drawstring bag like the SRM. There's no, case. But really, I'm not going to use any of these to keep my knife in other than maybe storage. So I wouldn't use those anyway. So it's not really a deal breaker. But this one is the most expensive out of the 3, coming in at $30. So the most expensive, but I like the knife. I just like the way it looked. Kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park. If you've ever seen the first Jurassic Park, you may know the reference I'm talking about. But I just thought it was interesting. Just something different for my collection. I really like it. So we're going to kind of look at what these things will do. I mean, how do they cut? I got a piece of paper here. Let's see if I can cut some real fine. So it cuts fairly well. I mean, it's sharp. I'm sure they're all machine sharpened. So that one does a good job cutting. We'll go to the SRM, take a look at it. Also super, super sharp. You can cut some fine curls. Let's see that. So SRM, no problem. Nice and sharp out of the box. And then the last one, we'll go over to the 704. Also super sharp. So just a little cut test. We're not going to do anything major with them. I mean, they're all machine sharpened, so they're good sharp knives right out of the box. They're D2, so they still, they should hold these two D2. They should hold their edge. And then you got the 18CR13 or the 8CR13 MOV stainless in the SRM. What do you think, guys? Overall, which is your favorite? Let's put them in order the way we looked at them. You got your 704, you got your SRM, and you got your Hueo 535. Out of the three, which would you prefer? Which one would you carry? Like I said, they were all under 50. They're actually all under 40. So 3 knives under 40 bucks. Kind of gives you a range. You have 2 drop points, and then you have this Tonto style Persian swoop point. Little bit longer blade, little skinnier handle. Little bit bigger drop point in length, but pretty much the same design. You got two axis lock, 1 liner lock. This is the only true flipper with the flipper tab. And then you have the disc and then the regular thumb. So let me know, guys. Give me your thoughts. Like always, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, click all notifications. We do have our Whitty store up. Also, we have a buy me a coffee if you decide you want to, go that route. And we also have Whitty's memberships as well. But as long as y'all watch, like, share, subscribe, that's good enough for me. But if you don't feel that's enough for yourselves, we do have those other ways to get back to the channel. And all we're going to do is use that money to buy more gear, to make more videos, to keep y'all informed about what's out there. Again, guys, appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Love y'all. See you on the next one.